President Muhammadu Buhari arrives to chair the Federal Executive Council meeting after a short trip to Plateau State over the latest killings. Addressing journalists after a closed-door meeting, which lasted for hours, the Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment responded to reports indicating Nigeria tops the list of largest number of people with extreme poverty.
When you get reports from Brookings Institute, all these sort of people, you need to look at the context. I mean, somebody may have written a report when we're in recession. There is absolutely no question that there is an urgency to create employment in Nigeria, and it has to be a collective responsibility. What I can tell you is that if you complete the things we're doing on infrastructure and you implement these reports we're doing, that's what I mean by a leading indicator. Poverty will go down. There's no magic to it.
Welcome back. Well, yes, we are focusing on that Brookings report. Dr. Austin Wenze, an economist, joins us next. Thank you for coming on this morning.
Thank you.
You know, listening to all of this and then the response there, that look, those details may have been old data, and as such, we should take it with a pinch of salt. By the time some of the programs, perhaps particularly that of the ERGP that the FG is working on comes to fruition, those things will be history. Is that how you take that report, with a pinch of salt?
No. You see, we keep making the same mistake. When the World Bank or so said something in the previous administration that ease of doing business and Nigeria was ranked, even the Human Development Index, Nigeria ranked very poorly amongst other nations, among bottom. They threw their hands, everybody reacted and said, oh, why is the World Bank doing that? We have done the upon all that we're doing and all that. But let's take an example of India that we're being compared with. Those things are not old data. Before I said that, in the 90s, when Hillary Clinton or one of the Clintons came to Nigeria, they reported about 40% of Nigerians were living under poverty line. In 2000 and something, when the same people visited, it had gone to 71%. And they're saying that's old data. Now, the Indian situation, in 1990-1991, World Bank declared India technically bankrupt. They didn't dismiss it and they didn't tell the people to take it with a pinch of salt. They folded their hands and did something. They admitted the report. Said, okay, let's assume that this is true.
But
what do we do?
Aren't we doing something ourselves? Because they've spoken about the ERGP.
First of all, they're denying that we should not regard that as old data and all that. The thing is to admit, then solutions will come. Even experts, I've been at forums or fora, if you like, where experts discountenance the ERGP, that it will not solve Nigeria's problem. How is it going to solve the problem?
But won't it put us on the path? Because, I mean, we do know that we've, limped out of recession. We are forgetting, just screaming the market. We need to go back to the fundamentals. In the first place, how this nation was constituted is not constituted to create wealth for the people. All the policies, even from the colonial masters, everybody just wants whatever they can take out. You cannot, grow. That's why people are still poor. So we need to begin to find a way of creating wealth. What policies would those be? I mean, now, specifically.
If you say, okay, that we are, we are going to create wealth for the people, you first of all take a look at what are the natural endowments that we have. Start from there. We have a document from government agency that shows what we can do. Then we dedicate some of these areas where we can build a cluster of industries without thinking, really strategic thinking. We cannot do all of this. We need to begin to become original equipment manufacturer, not when we want to, we need toothpick in this country, let's go to China. We are sort of thinking to them. Why don't you begin to
do have all of those now, the toothpicks and some of the small industries?
We have them right now?
We do have some of them.
Yes, we used to have some of them. But government policy, like...
I think Akwa Ibom has some of those.
Even the government policy, there used to be, even one of my in-laws used to manufacture toothpick using this
raffia?
Raffia fund that they do. Used to have it in Onitsha. But all the policies. It's government policy.
When you say the government position is wrong, one begins to wonder, is it that government's not correct to say by the time we're done with the infrastructure we're putting in place, the level of poverty will change?
No, you see, when you're doing all of that, you need to face some of these things. First of all, provide a low-hanging fruit, which will alleviate some of the immediate this thing. You have a medium-term this thing, then the longer term. By the time you achieve the longer term, people must have died. So it's critical that you have some low-hanging fruits, which are not difficult to find. So the thing is that, how are we making sure that those small businesses, you know, and like Senator Ben Bruce usually said that government has a way of using the right hand to give you a gift, and then use the left hand to take it back. Now, you're saying about, okay, without small businesses, no economy can grow. Every economy that is big today started from the small business economy. Now, there are so many policies against the small business. Take, for instance, the tax, you know, that the small businesses, even the individual tax that we pay, okay? Corporate tax with those people are huge. Now they're trying to increase the tax. The interest rate, how many businesses can borrow money with that? And interest rate has a way of influencing the entire economy. So with interest rate of 20-something%, how are you going to produce product that will compete out there?
In China, for instance, my apologies, the interest rate is about just 8%. And that's one of the reasons why its development plans from 1967 has been able to grow. And Nigeria had a development plan. As a matter of fact, we had about 3 staggered development plans. If you have to compare that with the ERGP, have we really made the kind of progress, or have we jettisoned the national development plans that would have worked as it has worked in China?
Now, in the same period, Nigeria also had this thing. Some Nigerians helped to even do that of South Korea. But what did they do? To look at the critical areas where they can compete. Now, look at our neighbors. Nigeria's GDP is about 79% West Africa. Okay? It's a huge market.